Alright, so after some technical difficulties, here's the final example here. So we have to get it to be 1 minus 2 cosine squared. The first thing I'm going to do is take both my tangent and cotangent and switch them in terms of sine and cosine. So that will get me sine alpha over cosine alpha minus cosine alpha over sine alpha. And the same thing in the denominator, only with a plus sign. So sine alpha, cosine alpha, plus cosine alpha, sine alpha. Alright. Now to get these, be able to combine these fractions both in the top and the bottom, we need to make sure that the denominators are the same. So that means both fractions up here, both fractions will be multiplied by cosine alpha times sine alpha. So in the very first one, sine times cosine, the cosine here would cancel with the cosine there, giving me sine alpha squared. On the second term, we would get sine canceling with sine. I still have this cosine multiplied by cosine, so I get cosine squared alpha all over a denominator of cosine times sine. This is our multiplying by complex fractions that we did a couple chapters ago. So these two become our denominator. The cosine and sine cancel. The same process works in the bottom half. We'll multiply by sine alpha and cosine alpha to be able to get a matching denominator. So cosine would cancel with cosine, getting me sine squared alpha plus cosine squared alpha all over sine times cosine. I guess we'll write in the same order. Cosine alpha, sine alpha. Alright. Now, moving forward, in my denominator, or in my numerator right here, sine squared minus cosine squared, can't do anything with that. Down here, in my numerator here, I have one of our Pythagorean identities. So we have cosine, or sine squared alpha minus cosine squared alpha over cosine alpha sine alpha. This numerator here is now 1. Cosine alpha sine alpha. Also, in both of our fractions, we have the same exact denominator, so when I multiply the top portion by the reciprocal, both of these will also cancel out. When they cancel, that's going to leave us now with sine squared alpha minus cosine squared alpha. Denominators have canceled. All I'm left here with this original numerator. Alright. Now, sine squared, right here, using my Pythagorean identities, could be replaced by 1 minus cosine squared alpha. Bring back down my negative cosine squared alpha. Two like terms, they can be combined. Minus 2 cosine squared alpha equals, finally it matches up with our right hand side. There's a lot of work of our using our complex fractions, using our Pythagorean identity, multiplying by reciprocals, and then also using your Pythagorean identity again. Alright, the problems that are assigned to go with this section would be 6 and 7, 11 to 15, and then in the application and extension section, there's 3 problems right here to work on. All of these are expected to be completed by the end of the next class period, which would be either Monday or Tuesday.